Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and in this video I'm going to show you how I put together July Stamp Club kits. So I've showed you before, we're going to use the bundle, the sweetest cherries and the punch that go with that stamp set. This is one card, and this one, let me find the right card because I have another sample here to show you, and this is the other card that we're going to make today. So we're going to start with this card here. And I think I have all my stamps mounted and ready to go, but I kind of got my packets mixed up yesterday, so I'm going to show you what pieces of paper go with which card. This, of course, is the third card. I hope you like it. I cased it from, I didn't even do the inside of that one, but I cased it from Amy, a very talented demonstrator. I think I put that on the inside with just a little ink. You can find her on YouTube here, and she even has a video. I have a video how I did it too on YouTube, so if you're interested, you can go back to the videos and find that one. But for the second card, all you need is this piece of Daffodil Delight, and there's two pieces in your packet that are cut the exact same of basic white that are 5 1/4 by 4. You'll need those, and then you'll need the little red embellishments that are in here, and we'll come to those when I find them. For this card we're going to make now, you need this card base and the envelope that matches. This is part of the tea bouquet bundle. There we go. This is a scrap. Oh, here's another piece of basic white. This one's just a quarter sheet, 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. We'll need that for the first card, or for the second card, the yellow one too. And then for this one, of course, you'll need that scalloped piece. This is just a sample of how I suggest you stamp on this piece of white. And then there's 3 more little pieces here, and then my embellishments, or I'm going to leave them there so I don't lose them. And the basket here, let's, in fact, just right now go ahead and take those little pieces out of there. And then the early espresso piece of basket, which let's go ahead right now and take our liquid glue and just put those two together since they're right here. We'll get that part out of the way. So just a little bit of glue on the back. I'm gonna, just hit those pieces. I don't even know what they're called. Part of the basket, I guess, and we're gonna just lay that down right there. And now we have a little basket ready for our card when we're ready for that part. But we're going to stamp first. That was just, so we're going to stamp on this square here. We're going to stamp, like I said, it's going to look like, there, now it's in the camera, this piece. And we're going to stamp on this piece. And then I'm going to keep my stamps around because we'll stamp the inside. Well, we'll see when I stamp the inside. You know how I am. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take out Orchard Oasis. Right? And I'm going to stamp that little thank you for being so in the corner up here, because we want that to be placed exactly where we want it. So we're going to start with that. So just right here, trying to get it straight, I'm going to just stamp that down right there. Let that ink sink in, and bada bing, looky, there you go. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to bring in, and I'm probably going to leave all my little stamp sets, or ink pads, I mean, over here and open, because we're going to use them again and again. So with that green, I want to stamp a leaf, and I want to stamp it so that pointy end is down. That way it just coordinates with the punch, and it'll be easy to punch out. So I'm going to stamp that toward the edge here. And then after I did all my videos, I noticed that in the stamp set, look here, there's some veins right here for your leaf. And I didn't use that, but maybe you want to add that to your stamping as well. I'm not going to bother just because I didn't do it on my sample cards. And then I'm going to stamp that sweet pretty close to my leaves. And you know what, before I go on, I want to bring in my pad here for I'm going to use my Stamparatus and some scratch paper here, or those small grid sheets, so I get some pad under my stamping. Especially this one. This one is pretty big and pretty solid. I think it needs that extra padding. So there's that now. And then last, I'm going to bring in that Sweet Sorbet and stamp the full cherry here on the other end. Now this kind of does two things for me. This has it, so first of all, my stamps match my punch. So when I go to punch them out, they're gonna, hopefully, keep fingers crossed that they're gonna work. And then second of all, where that sweet is, that's kind of going to give me a handle. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my little leaf here in my punch and punch him out. Now I have a leaf, right? And then for my cherry, before I push down on the punch, I'm going to make sure that it doesn't interfere with any of my words, which it doesn't, so it's good. I'm going to go ahead and punch that out. Whoop, stuff be a-flying. And then I'm going to just quickly, sorry you have to watch this, but I'm going to fussy cut that sweet out. But having that sweet in between kind of gave you a handle so you could hang on to your paper as you used your punch. And this won't take long. And notice I'm moving my paper, not my scissors. That makes it just a little bit easier and a little bit smoother. And work with little pieces of paper instead of big one. Cut those little scraps off as often as you can. Almost there, hang on. It's totally worth it though. Okay, there we go. Whoop, almost threw my sweet away instead of my scrap. Let me get in there again. There we go, now it's working again. Had to get rid of that big piece of paper. Just a little bit here at the bottom. Okay. And there you go. So there's my sweet, just like that, ready. I'm going to set that with my cherry. Put this out of the way. We don't need that anymore. And I lost my leaf. No, there's my leaf. Okay, so on this piece here, I'm going to take this piece that kind of, to me, someone said it looks like a basket weave, like this. I think it looks like a bale of hay, but we're going to use this in that Parakeet Party green. Ink that up and just stamp that along the bottom. Now we're going to fussy cut this out too, so I'm not going to worry about, I want to make sure I get one edge so I don't have to cut, cut that edge. But now I'm going to cut this out too. And you don't have to be fancy with that one because we're going to just cut it out again. In fact, let's go ahead right now with some of that liquid glue while we have it ready. I'm going to just take and put some glue because I want it to look like that. So I'm going to just put some glue here in the corner. And then I'm going to try to get my, I'm going to call this a blanket, like a kerchief that goes in the basket, up to these two corners here. So it looks about like that. Then I'm going to just take with my scissors here and snip that off. So now we have a basket with the blanket in it. There we go. Okay. So then let's keep going now. So we're going to place this toward the bottom of my scalloped rectangle here, and notice I didn't put any adhesive on it. Now with that cherry that I call has a bite out of it, I'm going to just get my placement here for my basket and my cherry. I'm going to ink that up good, and then I'm going to put that in the basket angled. Nope, I want to angle it this way. So I'm going to angle it this way, make sure he's in the basket, move my basket out of the way, and then stamp him about right there. And if you see, you can compare. Here's my card that was my sample, and here's the card we did in the Zoom class. You can see that my stems aren't the same, my cherries aren't the same, so they don't have to be perfect. They just have to look nice, and so that's what I suggest. You just do the best you can. It's not going to be the same exact same every time. But now we want to stamp that little stem. So I'm going to take my stem here with my cherry and make sure it doesn't cover my words and just place it there. And then this stem is going to come down about and match like that. That's pretty good. Then I'm going to take my leaf here and place it up here at the corner at the end of that stem, like this. Okay, so far so good, right? Now let's go ahead and put some dimensionals on the back of my basket, my cherry, and my leaf. There we go. I'm going to put my basket down first. And there's so my cherry's still in my basket. Then I'm going to put this cherry down, and I'm just going to kind of tuck it. Let me get those backs off. I'm just going to kind of tuck it here under my basket and line it up. There we go, with that stem. Then this leaf here, I got a little bit of black on my, oh well. I'm going to just place this right there like that. And look how cute. Okay, then with just a tape runner, we probably should have put this down when it was flat, but I'm going to go ahead with those bumps on there and place this. Oh, and I didn't fold my cards yet. Let me find my card base here. Going to fold that. Get my bone folder here. Well, and before I put that on, I'm even going to take the inside of my card base here, and I'm going to stamp that full cherry down here at the bottom. Where's my mat? I need my rubber, my foam mat. Nope, I guess it's going to work. And then the stem on there. Look how cute that is. Such a cute little stamp set, it's not even funny. And then my little leaf, and this time I'm going to kind of just place him right down there on the, oop, I didn't get it stamped all the way. Let me see if I can, yep, there we go, for the inside. Okay, now we can go ahead and put this on here. Looks like that. And then to place my sweet, I'm going to put a dimensional over here behind the E and the T. And then I'm going to use some tape runner over here on my S and my W. Then when I set that down, it's going to be all level because of the dimensional and the baskets on dimensional, so it looks like that. So there you go. And then the last thing we're going to do is take these little embellishments. There we go. I'm going to set these 3 red ones aside. This little, well, it's pretty, it's the biggest green one. I'm going to go ahead and put it right here on the leaf. And then these little, really they're the same color as the card base. I'm going to put these just scattered along my card so it looks like that. And there you go. There's card number 1 with a really cute matching envelope. I do like these card bases and envelopes. I think they're really cute. Okay, that's card number 1. Let's go on to card number 2. Again, I showed you that card number 2 looked like, did I show you? Nope. This is it with 1 cherry. This is it with 3. So just to save time, I'll explain how I put the 3 cherries down, but I'm going to just do 1 cherry on my card. Okay, so I got all my pieces and parts here. I'm going to first stamp on the piece that's one of those same 2. There's 2 of them that are 5 1/4 by 4. They're just a little bit smaller than the 3rd one. We're going to stamp on that 3rd white piece for our cherries, stems, and leaves. So let's start with this one. Again, I'm going to bring in that Pierce mat. Well, really, it's my Stamparatus mat. And I need to wash some stamps real quick. And here's my cleaner. So I'm going to wash that, well, the bale of hay. That's what I call it. I'm going to wash my sweet. And I think that's only 2. Yeah, that I need to wash. Okay, so we're going to start. This time, we're going to use a little bit of Daffodil Delight. I'm going to put away that Orchard Oasis. We don't need that one. The Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to ink that up good. And I'm going to stamp just a row here at the bottom. And I'm barely starting off the edge of my paper. Like that. And then just another one right here. Trying to line up. Look through that stamp set and line it up. I did pretty good. It's not going to be perfect. I don't think people receiving my card are going to wonder, if I stamp that perfect, they're going to just look how cute the card is and how thoughtful it is to send it. So I'm going to do the same thing here on the bottom. And I don't know if you can tell, but I missed right down here. I'm going to try to fix that real quick with just another little stamp. Hopefully, yep, and even that little tiny bit, I think, makes it look just fine. Okay, we're done with the Daffodil Delight. Now I'm going to bring in some of that Tahitian Tide ink and that Sweet back in again, because we want to stamp the Sweet right here on our card. Let me bring in the sample card toward the right edge in the center. So here's my Sweet. Ink that up good. See if my paper's straight, and then stamp. You know what? I have the urge. I'm going to practice once. Let me make sure. Oh, shoot. I should have just went for it. Okay. Set that there. Right there in the center toward the right. As best I can do. Like this. There's the Sweet. Like that. Nice. And then I'm going to stamp Life Is right here above. There we go. And then Sweet with You in it at the bottom down here. Just like that. Ta-da! Okay, let's stamp the inside real quick. So this is the other sheet that is 5 1/4 by 4, the exact same size. Oh, thank goodness I looked. This is the wrong one. This is the right one. There we go. It's exact same size as that one. We're going to stamp in here, and I'm going to put, nope, that's not the right one. Birthday Wishes. This stamp set has so many words. You could do so many different things. You don't have to stamp the exact same words I do, but this is what I did. So I put with Birthday Wishes and then Friend. Ta-da. Then just to bring some of those other colors in, I'm going to use that little leaf stamp here. And I'm going to just add a little set of leaves. Whoop, let me put it here. Try that again. This is what's great about photopolymer. So if you don't get it right the first time, just line it up and do it again. I didn't let that ink sink in. There we go. And looky there. Now we have our two, and I think I'm going to go ahead and put these two in my card. My bone folder. Take my card base. Let me put this away too. I think we're done with this. All we need is those cherry colors now. I'm going to take that inside and just place it with my tape runner on the inside here. And then this one on the front. So if you have a tape runner like me, here's just a quick tip. And I've seen several different people struggle with it. I've seen people love it. And let me show you how I use it. So sometimes I don't struggle with it. Sometimes I forget to do the right technique, I guess you'd call it. So what I do is when I run my tape this way, I flick it back this way. So I almost make like a U with my tape. I've also seen people that do this and then just do the check mark. And that's another way you can use the tape. And when you do that, it runs smooth every time. So if you're having trouble with your stamp and seal, that's what you need to add to your movement, I guess I'm going to call it. So there we go. Now we're going to set that just on the front. It has lots of adhesive on that one with all my sampling. Now let's stamp some cherries again. I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to show you how to utilize the most of this paper here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cherry, and I'm going to stamp it, let's say down here in the bottom. So now I know how tall of a piece of paper I need. So then I'm going to just take this and I'm going to cut it across. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, but this way, there I have this whole piece left. I can take and slide this into my punch. And I'm going to save paper because now I can see where this leaf is going to punch. And then that way I'm going to stamp again. And then punch so my leaf doesn't get in the way of my other cherry. And then last time, one more cherry right here. And then when you punch that out, and you could get all 3 cherries without any of them getting punched, I guess, with the leaves that are on the side of the punch. Okay, so now we have our 3 cherries. Now, with our stem, I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to take my paper this time with my stem. Looking at my punch, we want I'm going to call it the chunky end of the stem to go into the punch first. So then again, in that early espresso, I'm going to stamp the leaf this way. And then, nope, I stamped it the wrong way. I'm going to stamp the stem this way to where the chunky end is at the bottom, and then turn it over and do the same thing here. Like that. Then I'm going to take my scissors, and I realize we only have 2, so I'm going to have to do it twice. I'm going to put my stem in there and punch it out. And this way, when you have your paper, you still have that little bit of a handle to use to get your paper into the punch. It just makes things a little bit easier, I think. Okay, so there's 2 of our stems. Let me get rid of some of this scraps of paper that flew everywhere. And now we need 1 more stem. And I'm going to go ahead and cut him again too. Like that. Use my little handle. And punch out that 3rd stem. So you get the gist of it, right? And then with my leaf, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line it up so when I put it in there, it's going to look the same. Where'd my little leaf go? So I'm going to stamp him this way. And the leaf is going to work a little bit different. I think I can just stamp him. And I'm going to get 4 here. I might, whoop, there we go again. Take your time, get that good leaf. There we go. And then just place it here. And then just move it along your punch. Cut this away. But my bottom line, what I'm trying to say is you should have plenty of paper to cut all of your pieces. Now look how much I'm wasting now that I'm not worried about it. And then 1 more. And you have the little handles when you have the bigger pieces of paper in there. Okay. Now I think I need, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. And for this project, we could do 4, or you could do 5. Now, believe it or not, this is just a case right out of the catalog. Let me grab that and show you that. So you can see how they did their leaves and then how I did mine. So let me look real quick. I think it's on page, well, hang on a second. Here we go. The cherry bundle is on page 19. And I should have just guessed because that's what I was going to guess. 19 here. So look, this right here is the card that I cased for this. And see how they only use the 4 little leaves on there? But I think I'm going to, well, I'll show you what 5 look like. Because on my card, like I said, to save time, well, no, I'm just going to do the 5. Hang on. I think it'd be easier to show you rather than to explain how I put those little cherries on. And who knows, it's your card. Maybe you don't want to do it like I do, but that's what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. There's the last one. Let me clean up a little bit. Put all of my ink pads away. We're all done with ink now. Give me some room to work. There we go. Okay, so we're going to start at the top with a little cherry. I am going to use some liquid glue here, just a little bit here, and attach that stem to the cherry, and then a little bit of glue on both pieces. Now I'm going to set my cherry because I want my first cherry to go here, my second cherry to go here, and my third cherry to go about here. Now to hold that stem down, I'm going to take a little bit of liquid glue here and just put it atop of that stem, and that'll hold the stem down too. And then a little bit more liquid glue on this leaf, and we're going to put it just like that to hold that cherry down. Okay, then this one, I'm going to put dimensionals on him. And I'm going to kind of keep my dimensionals toward the top. Well, it really doesn't matter. I shouldn't even worry about that. Not with this part, it doesn't matter. I'm going to set this cherry down about here, and I'm going to try to get it to where it's not facing the same way as this cherry. And then this one, I'm going to hold on to my leaf with a dimensional. So I want them to look about like that. Yep. And then if I just put a dimensional over that stem to hold the leaf onto there, I am going to put a little bit of liquid glue here. And then when you put that stem onto this cherry that's popped up, it's all going to be popped up too. And look how cute that looks. Then on this one, I'm going to put a couple more dimensionals on him. Go and put him maybe this way. And then the stem, I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on the bottom where it's going to be stuck to the cherry. And then just a little tiny bit in the center, and I'm going to glue him right to the cherry that he's on top of. And the same thing with the leaf, I'm going to just put a little bit of glue there and glue him directly to this, whoop, maybe I am, this cherry here, like that. And now I do see on this card now, I don't have room for another cherry on this, or another leaf. See on this, I think I'm going to put it on this card. There you go. So who knows what your leaves and your cherries all will look like, but this is what there. Look how cute that is. Okay, there we go. And then again, if you want to be, you know, just a little bit less work, I was going to say lazy, but I don't think that makes you lazy. You could just do one cherry on your card. I think that looks just as good too. Almost forgot my bling. Let me take those and put those on my card quickly here. Take that big one and put him right here. Little one just right next to him. And then the other little one, I think I'm going to splatter up here. So that's how you can put your bling on there. There you go. So there's this month's Stamp Club cards. Thank you for being a part of Stamp Club, and I'll see you next month. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.